Hello friends, hi, this is Alok Ojha. Welcome back to Complete Ancient Indian History series. Today we are going to cover the most important topic, that is Jainism. By now we have covered different aspects of ancient Indian history like the prehistoric culture. Apart from that, Vedic civilization. Apart from Vedic civilization, we have covered a topic like Mahajanpad, the Mauryan Empire, and so on. We have also covered one of the diverse topic called as Buddhism along with its philosophy and architecture. Today we are going to start with one of the most important videos, that is Jainism or introductory part of Jainism. That this video won't be much lengthier, so please stick in the video till the end. Very important concept I'll be telling you about the Tirthankars. We are going to discuss about one of the most important concepts or about one of the 24th Tirthankar, that is Vardhaman Mahavir Ji. 5 cardinal principles of Jainism, one of the core philosophies of Jainism. So let's begin with today's session. Very soon, guys, as I've informed you previously as well, very soon I would be coming up with the live videos on modern Indian history. So let's begin. Jainism. The word Jainism has been derived from the word Jina. The Sanskrit word Jina, which basically means the victorious one or the conqueror of senses. One who has conquered his senses and is referred as Jitendriya or Jina. As per Jainism, there are rishis or acharyas who have propagated the teachings of Jainism. And these rishis or acharyas are referred as Tirthankar. As per Jainism, there are totally 24 such Tirthankars. The first one being Rishabhnath or Adinath. The last one being Vardhaman Mahavir Ji with his symbol as lion. As per Jain scriptures, there are 5 processes through which every Tirthankar has to go through. So let's analyze these 5 processes. Like it is believed as per Jain scriptures that who will become the Tirthankar, it is already pre-decided in the Jain scriptures. And every Tirthankar has to go through 5 processes. The first being Garbha Kalyanak. It is believed that the soul or the Atman of Tirthankar enters into mother's womb. Then comes Janma Kalyanak. In Janma Kalyanak, it is believed that the Tirthankar takes birth. And as per Jain scriptures, the Tirthankar's Abhishekam is done. Or this, what we say, Abhishekam is done at a place called as Mount Meru in Tibet. Mount Meru in Tibet. It is a very spiritual place, not only from the perspective of Jainism, but also from the perspective of Hinduism as well as Buddhism. So it is believed that here Abhishekam is performed at Mount Meru by Indra. Okay? Then, after the birth of Tirthankar, it is believed that he lives his worldly life. And after living a worldly life, after a particular age, he completely renounces his worldly life. Like if you remember, we have seen in Buddhism, like at the age of 29, Buddha completely renounced his worldly life. And that was referred as Mahabhinishkraman. Similarly here, complete renunciation is referred as Diksha or Diksha Kalyanak. Now they live life of a wanderer. They live life of an ascetic and wander from place to place in search of knowledge and truth. After acquiring knowledge, it is believed that the prime responsibility of the ascetic or the Tirthankar here is to specifically spread that knowledge among the people so that they can alleviate the people's suffering. And that is referred as Jnana Kalyanak. And finally comes the Nirvana Kalyanak or death, which is also referred as Moksha. Now, the soul leaves the mortal body. It is believed that these are the 5 processes which every Tirthankar has to go. I'll repeat the processes. Pay attention carefully. The first one being the Garbha Kalyanak. The soul or the Atman of Tirthankar enters into the mother's womb. Janma Kalyanak, the birth of Tirthankar. And after the birth, the ceremonial bath is performed at Mount Meru by Indra. and this finds mention in various Jain scriptures. Then comes Diksha Kalyanak, renouncing one's worldly life and living the life of an ascetic, a wanderer. Jnana Kalyanak, where a person's attained enlightenment, the true knowledge, and he works, the Tirthankar works for the liberation of the people, to alleviate people's suffering. And finally comes Nirvan Kalyanak, wherein the soul leaves the mortal body. As per Jain scriptures, there are 24 Tirthankars. The first Tirthankar being Rishabhnath or Adinath. I repeat, Rishabhnath or Adinath, whose symbol was bull. The 23rd Tirthankar was Parshavnath. I repeat, 23rd Tirthankar was Parshavnath ji, whose symbol was snake. It is believed that there are 5 cardinal principles of Jainism: Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigriha, and Brahmacharya. I repeat, Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, Aparigriha, and Brahmacharya. The last principle of Brahmacharya was given by Vardhaman Mahavir ji. But the previous 4 principles, Satya, Ahimsa, Asteya, and Aparigriha, were given by the 23rd Tirthankar, Parshavnath ji, with a symbol as snake. And the last principle of Brahmacharya was given by the 24th Tirthankar, Vardhaman Mahavir ji, with symbol as lion. Now the first question that can crop up in the mind of every aspirant, rather than saying aspirant, in the mind of every person, that how are these symbols associated with the Tirthankar? Many Jain scholars, many Jain, scriptures, they suggest that, or they portray things like, whenever the Tirthankar's Atman or soul is in the garb of their mother, after that, during the growth phase, when at that point of time, during the growth phase in the fetus, it is believed that the symbol appears on the right thumb of the leg of the Tirthankar. Correct? Like for example, Tirthankar's Atman enters into mother's womb. During the growth phase, suppose it is like 6 months, 7 months. So at the right thumb of the leg, this symbol would appear. Like for example, bull, it will appear on the right thumb of Rishabhnath or Adinath, the first Tirthankar. Correct? Similarly, snake, it would appear on the right thumb of whom? Parshavnath ji, the 23rd Tirthankar. Lion, on the right thumb of Vardhaman Mahavir, the 24th Tirthankar. Correct? Now, as per Jainism, there are 2 major sects, Shwetambar and Digambar. We'll understand them in quite depth and detail. Now, as per Digambar, only male body can attain moksha. Females cannot attain moksha. So, as per them, all the 24 Tirthankars are male. But, as per Shwetambar, the 19th Tirthankar, Mallinath, was a female and her name was Mallibai. Okay? Like there's a temple dedicated to Mallinath, Mallagudi Jain temple. Okay? So we'll understand that in quite depth and detail. Hope you understood this process. Okay? Let's move up with Vardhaman Mahavir ji. Okay? The 24th Tirthankar. There was a Mahajanpad whose name was Vajji. And Vajji in our historical scriptures is also referred as Ashtkul. I repeat, Vajji in our historical scriptures is also referred as Ashtkul. Asht means 8. Kul means family. So the Mahajanpad of Vajji comprised of 8 major families such as Videha clan, Natrik clan, and so on, Lichavi's clan. So it is believed that Siddharth was father of Vardhaman Mahavir ji and he was the head of Natrik clan. I repeat, he was the head of Natrik clan. Hence, Vardhaman Mahavir ji is also referred as Nathputra in various Jain scriptures. Now let's understand. Vardhaman, his father's name was Siddharth. His mother's name was Trishla. Siddharth and Trishla, they had a very happy life. They had a son named as Nandivardhan. It is believed that Siddharth ruled around the region of Kundagram near Vaishali. One fine day, after the birth of Nandivardhan, the eldest son of Siddharth and Trishla, it is believed that Trishla used to get different dreams. Like one day in the dream, she used to see a pond full of milk. The other day, she used to see the lion. The other day, she used to see goddess Lakshmi. Then she used to see a white bull, a white elephant, a silver vase, a garland, a lion, and so on. Now she spoke about this dream to his husband, whose name was Siddharth. Now Siddharth, he called the royal astrologer, and as he called the royal astrologer, he asked the royal astrologer to decode the dream of his wife Trishla. So now he said, the royal astrologer said that now your wife Trishla is going to give a birth to a very heroic personality. He is going to change the entire phase of the history, particularly concerning the religion part. And it is believed that specifically this person, he would be taking birth to alleviate the people from their suffering. Fine. It is believed that now there are two stories. As per Jain scriptures, it is believed that Siddharth's wife Trishla, she became pregnant. Okay? At the same time, in Kundagram, there was a Brahmin couple. And that couple's wife, that female, she also got pregnant at the same time when Trishla got pregnant. And it is believed that Vardhaman Mahavir was in the garb of whom? That Brahmin lady. Vardhaman Mahavirji was not in the garb of whom? In the garb of Trishla. And this was observed by Lord Indra, that is the Lord of Heaven. It is believed that Indra believed that it is necessary that at least Vardhaman Mahavir should take birth in a Kshatriya family. So he transferred the Brahmin lady's garb to the garb of whom? Trishla. So the womb was being transferred. Okay, and Vardhaman Mahavirji was transferred to the womb of Trishla. And all this finds mention in various Jain scriptures. After 9 months and 14 days, a boy was born. And that boy was named as Vardhaman by Siddharth. Correct? Moving ahead with the other part of the story. The boy was named as Siddharth. The boy was named as Vardhaman by Siddharth. Okay. Now, the birth celebration of Vardhaman continued for the next 10 days. And he was raised in a royal family. After a particular point of time, Siddharth believed that this boy needs to be sent to a Gurukul so that he can get or find a good Guru and learn different scriptures. He can also learn the warfare skills from the Guru. It is believed that although in his childhood, he had a very different personality. There was a different aura on his face, a courageous, a valor personality of Vardhaman. Now Vardhaman goes to the Gurukul to learn the scriptures from his Guru. Now one fine day, along with his, friends, he was going into the jungle and he saw a snake. When he saw a snake, it is believed that that jungle was full of snakes. And when he saw that snake, all of his friends ran away. Vardhaman went near to that snake. And when he went near to that snake, it is believed that Vardhaman just kept his right hand on the snake. And the snake became silent. His friends were observing everything. His friends immediately ran to the Gurukul and called his Guru. And when his Guru saw this entire incident, that Vardhaman is placing his hand on the snake and the snake became completely silent, he was very much attracted by his disciple Vardhaman and he gave the name Mahavir to Vardhaman. And hence he is referred as Vardhaman Mahavir. There's one more story associated with Vardhaman Mahavir. And that's also a very beautiful story, which I'll tell you in the further part. Days passed by. Now he became a young man. And now after the Gurukul, now he came back to his kingdom. He ruled along with his brother for a while. His elder's brother name was Nandivardhan. After ruling for a particular point of time, he had a desire to become an ascetic, a wanderer, because he wanted to alleviate the suffering of the people. He could not see the suffering, the pain, the dukh the people are going through. So he had the intention to alleviate the suffering of the people. And he told about his desire to his parents, that is Siddharth, the father, and Trishla, mother. But Siddharth and Trishla, they opposed it. They said, no, you have to run the kingdom. You have the responsibilities in a different manner. At that time, Vardhaman Mahavir took a vow, until and unless, basically, I won't be renouncing my worldly life without my parents' permission. Days passed by and both the king Siddharth and the queen Trishla passed away. Meanwhile, Digambar believed that Vardhaman Mahavir was not married, whereas Shwetambar scriptures or Shwetambar text believed that Vardhaman Mahavir was married to Yashoda, his wife, and he had two daughters. One is Yashoda wife, and he had two daughters, Anuja and Priyadarshana. This is as per Shwetambar scriptures. And Digambars believe that Vardhaman Mahavirji was not married at all. Okay? Moving ahead. Now, after some time, his parents passed away. And now he had a desire that he will completely renounce his worldly life. He approached his elder brother, whose name was Nandivardhan. Initially, Nandivardhan denied that I won't be giving you the permission to completely renounce your worldly life, because after the death of the parents, it is my responsibility as an elder brother to take care of you. But after some time, he agreed that yes, you can completely renounce your worldly life. At the age of 30, I repeat, at the age of 30, Vardhaman Mahavir completely renounced his worldly life. He gave up his clothes to his brother. He gave up his ornaments, abhushans to his brother. And in fact, it is also believed that he completely cut his hair. He became bald. And naked, he went into the jungles. He started meditating a lot. He lived the life of an ascetic. He lived the life of a vairagi or a sannyasi. And finally, at a place called as Jrimbhrigram, at the age of 42, on the banks of Rijupalika river, Vardhaman Mahavir attained enlightenment, the knowledge. And now he wanted to spread this knowledge to the people so that he could alleviate the people of their sufferings. He now started moving towards different places and giving different sermons. And there are very different stories associated with this. One such fine story says like that. Vardhaman Mahavirji, he was traveling through one of the jungles. And when he was traveling through one of the jungles, he had heard about an angry elephant, which was uprooting the trees, crushing the hut. And people were very afraid of that angry elephant. Vardhaman Mahavirji reached the village. And as soon as he reached the village, immediately he touched the trunk of that elephant and he became silent. One such incident was Vardhaman Mahavirji was moving from one part of the village to the other village. And in between, there was a forest. And that forest was like, we can say that, like many people had, like it might be a rumor or it might be a truth, that the people who used to go through the forest, they never came back. Because there was a snake whose name was Chandakoshika. He used to bite the people who are going through the forest. Now, everyone stopped to Vardhaman Mahavir that if you want to go to a particular village, you can follow the different route rather than going through the jungles. But Vardhaman Mahavirji preferred the same route through the jungles. As soon as he reached the jungle, he saw the snake Chandakoshika. And Chandakoshika immediately, he bit on the feet of whom? He bited on the feet of whom? Vardhaman Mahavir. It was a very astonishing situation, or you can say that to the surprise, it was believed that rather than blood, milk came out of the legs of Vardhaman Mahavir as per Jain scriptures. Correct? And Chandakaushika, the snake, he was very, astonished. He was very surprised. And it is believed that finally the snake realized the mistakes that he has done in his past birth due to his anger, arrogance, and ego. So, this is a story basically about Vardhaman Mahavir. It is believed that he delivered multiple sermons at different places. He answered 55 different questions of the people, or he delivered 55 pravachan or sermons at different places across India. And he died at the age of 72 at a place called as Pawapuri, which is located in Bihar. Please do not get confused. I'll go for a comparative analysis. Buddha, his original name was Siddharth. His father's name was Shuddhodhan. Mother's name was Mahamaya. Here, Vardhaman Mahavir. His father's name was Siddharth and mother's name was Trishla. Correct? Buddha, he renounced his worldly life at the age of 29. Vardhaman Mahavirji renounced his worldly life at the age of 30. Buddha's wife's name was Yashodhara. As per Digambar, Vardhaman Mahavirji was a brahmacharya. He never married. And as per Shwetambar, okay, he was married to Yashoda and had two daughters, Anuja and Priyadarshana. Got it? Excuse me. Had two daughters, Anuja and Priyadarshana. Correct? Buddha died at a place called as Kushinagar or Pava, which is in UP. Whereas Vardhaman Mahavirji died at a place called as Pawapuri, which is in Bihar. Hope so the confusion is clear. Let's move with the further part. 5 cardinal principles of Jainism. I have told you previously itself, guys. There are 5 cardinal principles of Jainism. Satya, Ahimsa, Aparigriha, Achurya or Asteya, and Brahmacharya. Excuse me. These 4 principles are given by 23rd Tirthankar Parshavnath ji, whose symbol was snake. And this principle of Brahmacharya was given by the 24th Tirthankar Vardhaman Mahavir ji, whose symbol was lion. So let's understand about these principles in short within next 5 minutes. Satya. You might have heard about this. Mahatma Gandhi, he majorly followed 2 things in all of his movements, Satya and Ahimsa. Rather it be non-cooperation movement, civil disobedience movement or Quit India movement. The basic pillars were Satya and Ahimsa. So what is Satya? Satya basically means always speak the truth. Correct? Now, as per Jainism, the person who has conquered ego can speak the truth. Correct? One should earn his livelihood through honest means. That is also the part of Satya. Ahimsa. Now, when the word Ahimsa comes, the first thing that comes in our mind is Hinsa. Hinsa basically means violence. Correct? Now, we have only one thought in our mind. Violence basically means physical violence. But there are 3 kinds of violence. Violence in thoughts, violence in words, violence in deeds. Correct? For example, I'll give you a small example. Suppose you're studying in your room. Somebody enters into your room and speaks to you in abusive manner or in a slang language. Your mind gets completely disturbed. Now, continuously you'll keep on thinking about that person. How dare he said to me, or how dare he speak to me in that way or in that manner. You have disturbed your mental peace. Correct? Now you'll think, I'll 100% show him. I'll take the revenge. You have disturbed your mental peace. And this is nothing but violence in thoughts. Then comes violence in words. Speaking in abusive manner to anyone, speaking in slang language to anyone, that is violence in words. And violence in deeds, physical violence. So here, one should avoid all three kind of violence. Now, complete ahimsa is not possible. Isn't that so? I'll give you a very small example. Complete ahimsa is not possible. And Jainism believes in strict vegetarianism. Okay? Like I'll give you a small example. Suppose I'm having a glass of water. And if I'm having a glass of water, there are certain microscopic organisms that are prevalent in water. They will enter. If I'm breathing, certain organisms are entering into my body. Dahi, curd, what we call it as. It has a bacteria called as lactobacillus. Isn't that so? So complete ahimsa, it is not possible. So what does Jainism suggest? Jainism suggests that practically it is impossible to survive without injuring somebody. So here what does this suggest? Jainism says that minimum killing of the lowest form should be our main motto. Correct. Like I'll give you 5 senses, humans and animals. They shouldn't be killed. 4 senses, flies and bees. 3 senses, ants. 2 senses, worms. 1 sense, certain microscopic organisms. So what we say, rather than saying motto, our actual intent should be minimum violence. So this is one of the theories that has been propagated in Jainism, ahimsa, asteya or achurya. Now what is asteya or achurya? Non-stealing. One should not take anything that does not belongs to him. Correct? And if one takes anything that does not belongs to him, it is considered as theft in Jainism. One more important aspect, like for example, the monks and the nuns live life like a bhikshus or bhikshunis. They live life like a wanderer and they are completely dependent upon the alms that they get or the bhiksha that they get. One should not take more than necessary. And it is believed as per Jain scriptures, one should only take how much bhiksha that comes in his hands or anjali. One can take only this much of bhiksha in a day. Correct? So this is called as asteya or achurya. Then comes aparigriha, non-possession or non-attachment. Very beautiful concept. I'll explain this with the help of a 2-minute story. Very important one. The last ruler of Nanda dynasty was Dhananand. As we have discussed in the Mauryan Empire, he was a very greedy ruler. Correct? He used to impose taxes on the people, and rather than spending the taxes for the welfare of his subjects, he used to sponsor his own lavish lifestyle. True? We have learned about this in the Mauryan Empire. Now, in the court of Dhananand, there was one scholar, there was one minister whose name was Sakatal. Now, Sakatal, he has served as minister for the predecessors of whom? Dhananand. And he knew that there is a hidden treasure. Dhananand also knew that Sakatal knows that there is a hidden treasure. But Sakatal did not reveal about the hidden treasure to Dhananand. Why? As I've told you, he was a very cruel ruler, Dhananand. He was a very greedy ruler. If Sakatal tells about that treasure, correct? If he tells about the treasure to Dhananand, rather than spending for the welfare of his subjects, he will sponsor his own lavish lifestyle. So, what happened? Sakatal was forced to resign. He was forced to retire by Dhananand. Now, Sakatal had 7 daughters and he had 2 sons. One was Sthulabhadra and the other was Shriyak. Okay, very important story, a beautiful story with a deep message. Now, Sakatal, he had 2 sons and 7 daughters. The eldest son was Sthulabhadra and the other one was Shriyak. Sakatal was forced to retire from the court of Dhananand. Now he wanted his son Sthulabhadra to become minister in the court of Dhananand. But Sthulabhadra, at the very young age of 18, he was attracted to a court dancer whose name was Kosha. And both Sthulbhadra and Kosha, they fell in love with each other. Now, and he became a besotted lover. He was completely lost in thoughts of Kosha. Now, Sakatal had no other option, but he requested Dhananand to make Shriyak as the king. Shriyak as the minister. Now, Dhananand made Shriyak as the minister in the court of whom? Dhananand made Shriyak as the minister in his court. Now, one fine day, Dhananand thought that excuse me. Dhananand thought that I have made Shriyak as the minister. Just a second, guys. I'm sorry. Now, Dhananand thought that I have made Shriyak as the minister. But Shriyak might be providing information of the court to his father Sakatal. Now, Sakatal wanted to prove the loyalty of his son towards Dhananand. So he said to Dhananand, my son would be killing me in front of the entire court. But Shriyak did not accept this. So, Sakatal told to his son Shriyak that, don't worry, I'll be consuming poison initially itself. I'll swallow the poison initially. What will happen? Like, it would be proven that you have killed me, but the blame wouldn't be on you. Morally or ethically, the blame wouldn't be on you. So it is believed that Sakatal sacrificed his life for his son Shriyak. At that time, 12 years later, at the age of 29-30, Sthulbhadra was still lost in Kosha. And when he heard about this, that his brother Shriyak, when he heard about this, that his father Sakatal, he has sacrificed his life for his son Shriyak. Now at this point of time, when he saw himself in the mirror, what am I doing? I've wasted my youth completely in Kosha. And now he decided to go to Sambhuti Vijay. I repeat, now Sthulbhadra decided to go to Sambhuti Vijay. And who was Sambhuti Vijay? He was 6th successor of Vardhaman Mahavir. So Sthulbhadra, he went to Sambhuti Vijay. Sambhuti Vijay accepted him as his disciple. He learned control over senses. He learned the meditative practices. And now the time has come for the test. And the test of what? Aparigriha. Aparigriha means non-attachment. Because it is believed that by now he had attained the state of equanimity. Now what is equanimity? In simple words, for him, happiness and sorrow both are similar. That is equanimity. And it is believed that Sthulbhadra had attained the stage of equanimity. The monsoon season came, and when the monsoon season came, it was decided by all the monks to test something different, whether they have control over their senses or not. So one of the disciples of Sambhuti Vijay said that I'll be meditating in front of a lion's den. This will show that I have overcome fear. So one of the other disciples said that I would be meditating in the front of snake's hole. The task that was chosen by Sthulbhadra was very different. And what was the task that he chose? He said that for the next 4 months, I would be staying in the gallery of Kosha, whom I loved previously by leaps and bounds. So that actually I can test whether whether I'm completely detached from her or not. He went to Kosha. He stayed in her gallery for the next 4 months. And Kosha, it is believed that Kosha tried to attract whom? Specifically Sthulbhadra multiple times. But he had completely detached himself from all sorts of worldly pleasures. After 4 months, when he came back, he told the entire thing to his, spiritual master Sambhuti Vijay. And Sambhuti Vijay then said, you have completely learnt now what is detachment or what is non-attachment, and that is aparigraha. Correct? I'll give you a very simple example. Suppose if I aspire to become a monk or a nun, And in that case, I have a property worth rupees 50 crores. Correct. I am sitting for meditation. Do you think so? My mind would be completely calm. Hundreds of thoughts would be keep on attacking my mind at that time. Isn't that so? Because my mind is clinging to my assets, my property, my money. Because I'm not completely, I have not detached myself from them. So non-attachment is necessary for a monk or nun. It is non-attachment from material things, pleasures of five senses, feelings, relationships, and so on. So these four principles, Satya, Ahimsa, Astya, Churya, and Aparigriha, have been given by the 23rd Tirthankar Parshav Nath Ji, whose symbol was snake. And the last principle, Brahmacharya or celibacy, was given by whom? Vardhaman Mahavir Ji, the 24th Tirthankar, whose symbol was lion. So this in general or short is referred as 5 cardinal principles of Jainism. Got the points clear, guys? Let's move further with the concept of sect of Jainism. Okay? If you remember the story that I have narrated during the Mauryan Empire, I'll narrate some part of that story again. During the reign of Chandragupta Maurya, there was famine in the region of Patliputra, and the Jain monks were divided into 2 groups. One group was under Bhadrabahu, and the other group was under Sthulbhadra. Right now we have discussed the story about Sthulbhadra. The other group was under Sthulbhadra. So the group of Bhadrabahu, they moved towards southern part of India, particularly in Shravanbelagola, Karnataka. And they came back after 12 years in Patliputra. When they came back after 12 years, there were ideological differences between Sthulbhadra and Bhadrabahu. And due to these ideological differences, there was schism in Jainism. There was breakage in Jainism. The followers of Bhadrabahu who went to southern part of India were referred as Digambar. And the followers of Sthulbhadra who stayed back in Patliputra were referred as Shwetambar. And this entire episode has been mentioned in a book called as Parasthiti Parvan. There's also one more interesting story. It says that when the Bhadrabahu was heading towards, or the group of Bhadrabahu was heading towards southern part of India, Chandragupta Maurya also accompanied them. And he stayed in Shravanbelagola itself, and he committed Sallekhna, that is fast unto death. It is also believed that Chandragupta Maurya accepted Jainism during the end of his reign. Now these are 2 sects, Digambar and Shwetambar. Now what is Digambar? Digambar monks are completely naked. They do not wear any clothes. Now what is the meaning or significance of the word Digambar? Dig means disha or directions. Ambar means sky. The sky and the 4 directions are their apparels. Digambar. These monks are majorly characterized by 3 things: Pichi, Kamandal, and Shastra. Now what is Pichi? Pichi is a broom made up of fallen peacock feather. So that whenever they sit at a particular place, they will clean that place with the help of that fallen peacock feather. So if any small insect is there, okay, it won't get hurted when they sit. Because as I've told you, Jainism majorly believes in the principle of non-violence. Correct? Kamandal. Kamandal, it's basically a water container. And Shastra, scriptures through which they will deliver their pravachans or sermon. Correct? Now female Digambar, they wear a white sari. And the female Digambar are referred as Aryikas. Okay? Then comes Shwetambar. Shwetambar monks, basically, they wear white clothes. Okay? Apart from wearing white clothes, they believe like it is, now I'll give you a small example. Digambar. Digambar believe that females cannot attain moksha. And as per Digambar, as we have discussed previously, all the 24 Tirthankars are male. But Shvetambars believe that rather it be male or female, those who follow the path preached by the Tirthankar can attain moksha irrespective of their gender. And as per Shvetambar, 19th Tirthankar Mallinath was referred as Mallibai and she was a female. So, Digambar to an extent, they are, we can say they are fundamentalistic follower of Jainism. Correct? They believed in extreme austerities. Like many scriptures also say that Digambar monks, rather than cutting the hair, they prick the hair. Okay? They cut the nails with the help of their hands. Okay? And then comes Shvetambar. Shvetambar, they do believe in fasting, but they do not believe in extreme austerity. Okay? So this is the major difference between the two sects of Jainism, Digambar and Shvetambar. There are various important concepts and philosophies associated with Jainism. And one such philosophy is 7 tattvas or 9 tattvas of Jainism. Some believe that these are 7 tattvas. Some believe that these are 9 tattvas of Jainism. So we are going to see about this philosophy in the coming session. We'll also see about the beautiful story of the statue Bahubali, which is located in Shravanbelagula, Karnataka. The wonderful monolith statue, which is 58 to 60 feet tall. We'll understand about the entire story of the Bahubali statue. Apart from that, we are also going to study in quite depth and detail about the Jain literature and important Jain councils. Hope you understood today's concept about the Tirthankar, about the life story of Vardhaman Mahavirji, the 5 cardinal principles of Jainism, the sects of Jainism. Okay guys, so with this, I stop my words for the day. See you guys. Thank you.